haven't all debuted, but is there any new shows that have stood out to you that you're...
Inhumans,
Yeah.
Marvel's Inhumans. At least that's the one I've seen all 3 episodes for, so I could
There you
comment on
go.
it.
I haven't seen the third one
It's
yet.
decent. It's like, to me, it's almost like another version of Lost, right? They're on they're in Hawaii. It's the island, and they got a couple cast members from Lost are on the show.
That's funny, yeah,
You know, Desmond.
Right.
Is whoever, you don't know who he is yet, but he's going to help the Inhumans, and then one of the
Right.
Inhumans was the one of the scientist guys who was working on the hatch. You know, the guy with the tattoos all over his face.
Oh,
Who can,
right,
Can envision the future, but then gets knocked on the head, and that power gets taken away for whatever reason. So, so far it's pretty cool. I do like Lockjaw. He's cool.
Lockjaw.
My dog likes Lockjaw too.
Really?
Yeah, she noticed him on the TV and was watching it.
That is cool.
Yeah.
Of course, that's one of those things where you can't hit Lockjaw in like every scene or anything. That
Right.
must be a pretty expensive CGI creation because it looks pretty real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He teleports them all around. And...
I just find it a little strange. I like that show too. It's watchable, and I like they put something on Friday nights in case you're ever just sitting around going, oh, okay, I guess I'll watch this. But like, okay, so they got one guy who can't use his powers hardly ever because the Black Bolt, because whenever he speaks, it just things blow up or whatever. And then the only other, the other person with really prominent powers, Medusa, they cut her hair off, so she's just a person from the moon now. I mean, did she do anything in the third episode that, like, it's
no,
just
not really.
like...
Not with her hair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, are they, I guess, like, presumably at some point the hair will grow back and she'll start doing that stuff again.
That's what I'm wondering, yeah.
Yeah. They had a couple scenes in the pilot where she... first it's like, let's have sex and have the hair do it. And then it's like, let me throw some guy against a wall with my really strong red hair and whatnot. But it just seems like a goofy, maybe it's a goofy idea to adapt this anyway, because they're such wacky characters. And again, a dog is one of the things. But so far it's working out pretty good. And the one guy, I'm not really sure, he's got like big hoof type things, but are they hoof type things all the time? Or is it
the other episode, it looked like he was wearing boots.
Yeah.
So where did he find boots that could fit over his hooves and just walk around like a normal guy? That confused me a little bit.
Yeah, I don't know. At one point, I thought they did a shot and he just had normal feet, but maybe that was just one of those editing things.
Could be,
or whatnot. So we got Marvel's Inhumans. Yes, you'd have to put Marvel in front of it. Another adaptation type thing is Mr. Mercedes. I don't know if you ever heard of that. That was a Stephen King novel about a killer who drives a Mercedes into a crowd of people and whatnot. It's weird. It's like... that actually happened. Where did that happen recently? When the show debuted, it had just happened. Or the show debuted, and then something like a week or two later, somewhere in the world, somebody drove into a car again. I think it might have been France or whatnot. So, psychos everywhere, but pretty good show. They got Brendan Gleeson, I think, playing and of course he's just the cop he's a retired cop. Got to come out of retirement to track down this psycho. But the interesting thing, the psycho's kind of messing with him because this is like a case that he didn't solve from years ago and whatnot. So that's a pretty good show. Said you didn't see Star Trek Discovery?
I have not.
Yeah.
And really no plans to start.
Yeah.
And I know you said it wasn't very good. So.
They gave us one free episode on regular TV.
Yeah.
And it's funny because you'd think the whole point of doing that would be like, oh, this is going to be so awesome that I got to go sign up for my CBS streaming service tomorrow, but it was just not really that great. There was almost zero action in the hour they put on TV, so I don't know.
Well, the whole Star Trek franchise, it's hard to get excited about it. They haven't done anything with it in a long time. Star Wars has been blowing it out of the water.
Exactly.
So, maybe they should have tried to keep something alive during those years. I don't really know. So.
Well, they had, Enterprise, that lasted something like 3 or 4 years. And I guess it wasn't the worst show, but right from the beginning, I was never sold on Enterprise because it was a prequel show. It was like however many years before Kirk. And now this is another show that is still before Kirk. It's in between Enterprise and the Kirk years, I think.
I'm never a fan of that because of the way the world works is the technology and the special effects on the show are going to look so much better than, just like Star Wars had the same thing with the prequels, that everything looks so much better than what they had. And I understand that's the reality of it, but...
And every time they bring the Klingons back, they got to redesign the Klingons. Like, wow, those Klingons evolved pretty quickly over the years, right? And it's like, it's funny because like in Kirk's time, I guess they went back to just looking like dark complected human beings or whatever. I don't know. Again,
big foreheads.
Yeah, they do have like excellent effects and whatnot, but it's just the usual. I mean, some of the cliches you've seen before, like the captain who's, sometimes the captain's more gung ho, but this is one of those captains who's reserved, and the first officer's like, we got to get ready, we got to attack or whatever. And of course, the first officer is right because it's the Klingons, and the captain's too slow on the draw and whatnot. And by the way, the captain is not listed in the credits, so you're like, she ain't long for this world. I think somebody else is going to be taking over this ship pretty soon. So it's just, Star Trek Discovery, big fail there. Just do one, let's go into the future. Let's go like beyond Picard, beyond Deep Space Nine, maybe go 1,000 years in the future or something. It's like, but then I guess it'd be crazy that they'd still be speaking English.
Yeah.
What else? The show called The Gifted, set in the X-Men universe, which, since you like the old Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., you might want to check it out. I've only seen the first episode. Seemed watchable, but your standard kind of stuff. Well, the Sentinels are a little bit different. I think the Sentinels are more like drones and stuff now, but
cool.
They got the usual sort of mutants are feared, and if you got to hide yourself but they have this kind of it's set in the X-Men universe, so they do refer to nobody knows what's happened to the X-Men or the Brotherhood or whatever. So I don't know if that's ever going to be addressed at some point, but decent enough show. You saw Ghosted, and I guess
episode 1.
Yeah, me too.
It was just okay.
Okay.
I might give it a second chance. I
didn't get enough laughs.
I didn't.
If it's going to be a comedy, we got to laugh a little more.
Yeah, I agree.
They do the classic, one guy's the believer, and they both saw the UFO in the first one, so I guess the one can't really be a Scully type. He's got to at least believe on, but apparently the Adam Scott is much more of he believes it all kind of stuff, and they already met their little secret, it's like, they always have, in all these shows now, they got to have some secret organization they work for, right? Like on Supergirl, she works for a secret organization. I don't know, it's just weird.
Yeah.
So the other one I saw this one, 10 Days in the Valley, which, that didn't look like much. Kira Sedgwick, but it could be, loses her kids, gets kidnapped, and she's got to go try to find. Saw this one last night, it looked kind of interesting, called Kevin. It's like Kevin, it puts in parentheses, probably saves the world. And it looks like it's got, who was the guy, Ritter? Who was the famous Ritter guy from Three's Company? Is that John Ritter?
John Ritter.
Yeah, so his son's name is Jason Ritter. And it's funny because Jason Ritter used to be on a show called Joan of Arcadia, and in that show she was talking to God the whole time, and God was telling her to do stuff, and God would appear in different forms, and it was just okay, I'm gonna help you out, Joan. You didn't really know why she was so special or anything like that. So in this one, it was her. Jason Ritter played her brother, and he was handicapped, so they had that, couldn't walk and everything. So in this one though, a meteor comes down to Earth. He touches the meteor and it shocks him or whatnot, and then he starts having visions or starts talking to an angel type character. She calls herself a warrior of God. So again, I'm like, wow, does he just gravitate towards these shows? But he's somehow he's the last righteous soul apparently on all of creation, and he's not even that great of a guy, so I don't know how they define righteousness, but his goal is to go out and somehow find 35 new righteous souls. Weird mythology, but I gotta say the script's was pretty funny, and they had a little drama into it too. So it looks okay. Could be something, but.
I thought you were gonna say Kevin Can't Wait.
Kevin Can't Wait.
I mean, how hacky is what they did on that show?
Oh my gosh!
Kill his wife off from the first season to replace her with Leah
Remini.
Yeah. I can never say her name right.
Yeah.
And just to make it the King of Queens all over again. And then apparently I didn't see the first episode of the new season, but they said they didn't even show the wife's funeral or something.
Wow.
Or something just weird.
That's hard. That's harsh, man.
It really is.
Yeah.
Why not just bring back the King of Queens? If you're
right, exactly.
I mean, just call it the King of Queens.
Do the reboot.
Yeah.
Do the reboot. Yeah. Well, they say that I guess they had her on as a guest star last year.
It pulled so well.
And they had such great chemistry again and all that. It's the wife's one of my chopped liver. But they say they're not doing, they're not going to be romantically entangled or whatever. It's just she's going to be a reoccurring character. I'm not sure what she does, but yeah, well, she got so famous from exposing Scientology, I guess, that that's a weird thing too, to have that as a new part of your career, to have a reality show about that. I mean, I know for her I'm sure it's a very serious thing.
Right.
But it's just, interesting thing. And Kevin James, I just wouldn't have predicted he had that much staying power. But I guess, I read something recently, or an interview with Patton Oswalt, and he talked about his time working on King of Queens and whatnot, and he said they just had a blast doing it, and that they, I don't know, I get, that might have been, I did laugh, I saw that show a few times and I laughed, but it was always like a joke, like how is this show still on TV, and it was really popular, so.
It was a good show, it's just, I don't think you need to,
you don't
like
need
do
to,
a redo that isn't a redo.
Exactly,
come on.
Yeah.
I guess you wanted Patton Oswalt or Jerry Stiller on there, and those were two good characters. So
Jerry Stiller's probably dead now, isn't he?
I don't think so.
Oh, man.
I mean, he might be too old to be acting.
Bring him back! Oh,
Yeah.
okay, he's not too old. Wheel him in there.